You're watching The Ready Writer, a show where I get to speak to writers of all different genres, mediums, and experiences. The Ready Writer. Are you ready?
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Ready Writer. We are in the week of Black Children's Book Week, and today's guest is Takiyah Prowell. She is the author of Riri the Reader. Let's get the show started. All right, so question. As a writer, because I know you wrote the book, was this a dream of yours since childhood, Tanika, or is this something that kind of just, something happened in life that made you realize you needed to write a book?
Well, actually, Takiyah, she actually wrote the book, but you are right. Being a writer has been a dream for me ever since I was a young child. When I was in fourth grade, about the same time the same age she is, I used to write little makeshift comic books like the X-Men, but instead of the X-Men, I called them the T-Women because my name's Tanika, and I made them all Black women superheroes. And ever since then, I've just been writing and writing and writing. And then I guess she grew a love for writing from me because she published her own children's book.
That's amazing. You definitely, I just an encouragement. One day, think about going back to that idea, T Women, and consider producing that because that's a great idea. So, in writing the book, what was your inspiration behind writing the book?
What was your inspiration?
I wanted kids all over the world to know that there is power in reading.
Awesome. So I'm assuming you enjoy reading. You're a reader. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. She is Riri the Reader, kind of kept.
So how did you know, or what inspired you to write the book? Because knowing how to publish a book is not everyday knowledge. So did you research it, or did you ask for help? How exactly did you know you could do this?
I asked for help.
And so I co-authored an anthology called #MomBoss, and it was basically about 11 women who it was about our journeys as far as us managing our children's businesses. And so I got a glimpse of how the publishing process worked just doing that anthology. And when she saw me write my chapter in Mom Boss, that got her excited. And we both actually learned together the publishing process of a children's book. It's one thing to do an adult book or a YA book, but a children's picture book is a totally different ball game. So we both learned together.
So the illustrator, did you look her up, or did you know them already?
No, I looked at so many different illustrators because Takiyah told me exactly how she wanted the book to look, especially the main character. She said, Mom, she has to be dark skinned. She has to have a curly afro puff. She has to have this, that, and other. Like, she laid it out for me, which made it easy. So she kind of already had a certain look, a certain type of illustration she wanted. So I looked at different illustrators who could meet the type of style that she wanted. And we came across Jasmine Mills, who illustrated the book. And we looked at her library, her home library, and come to find out, Takiyah already had a couple books that were previously illustrated by Jasmine. So that just made everything even better.
Wow, that's I don't think I've ever, I've never met any of the illustrators of the children's books I read when I was a child. I think that's amazing that you got to actually meet an illustrator. So what did you learn during the process of publishing? What are some of the things you learned on how to publish a book?
I learned that it takes work and everything you need to do, and you need to read and go to school so you can learn.
Yeah, you had to read that manuscript over and over and over to make sure everything was in place. You didn't know you had to do that, did you? Yeah. So that was one of the things, because like I said, we learned, we basically grew up together as far as children's picture book goes, publishing a children's picture book. And one thing she learned, she had to read her manuscript over and over and over, make revisions, make corrections. And even after we got it edited, she still had to go back and just check and make sure every, I was dotted, every T was crossed to make sure everything was right. And one thing I learned with children's book, publishing children's pictures book specifically, illustrations are not cheap. I knew they weren't cheap. I knew it was going to be a cost, but it's a cost. It's a cost. So that's why I strongly encourage people, please support independent authors, because especially a children's pictures books, because that costs the illustrations. It's a lot, especially if you want it done of quality, you want it done a certain way, you want it done right. It's gonna cost you.
It is. I usually do my own illustrations, and I wanted to redo one of my books, and so I probably shouldn't say this. I forget what they call them, the checks the government was giving out during the pandemic. That's what I used to redo. And I did it through Fiverr. I figured it would be, I'll put it this way, it wasn't as expensive, it was still costly. And it was, I was like, ooh, I don't think I'll ever do this. I mean, they came out nice. I do appreciate how she did it. Yeah, it is, which is understandable. I mean, that's painting and drawing. It's hours of work. And so if anything, you're more so paying for their labor, their time than the actual illustration. So it's worth it. It is, though, costly. So congratulations to you, by the way, Takiyah, because there are some adults out there who are still afraid to publish their book, and you decided you were going to do it anyways. Did you have any, was it challenging or fearful in a way, or were you bold? You just ran right in and you did it?
Were you bold? Tell them what you did to me.
I went up to my mom and then I told her I wanted to write a book. And
tell them how you didn't stop worrying my nerves until we got it done. Tell them that.
Yeah.
She was very bold with it. She made sure to let me know almost every day of the week, Mom, I want to write the book. I want to write the book. So she wrote it. Mom, when you gonna look over it? Did you look over it yet? Did you look? I mean, she was involved. So yeah, she was bold. She's playing shy now, but she was bold during the publishing process.
Awesome. So tell me the name of the book and what is it about?
The name of my book is Riri the Reader, and it's about a young girl who gets superpowers for reading.
Awesome. I really like that idea, Riri the Reader. I like that. That's really nice. So have you been to books? Have you been able to go to bookstores for book signings or anything like that since it's been out?
Online.
Yeah, we've done virtual book signings, and we've been keep getting in contact with independent bookstores to try to see if we can arrange something. But it's been kind of hard with the pandemic, and then like some bookstores haven't been open, or they're open on only certain days, and she still has school. So it's kind of been hard juggling that, but we have been doing virtual signings.
Awesome. Just a suggestion, probably in the summertime, when it's warmer. I know there are different book festivals everywhere. You can research book festivals around you, or even if you have to, maybe a 30-minute hour away drive. Just as long as it's outside, it shouldn't be a problem. Where they accept most book festivals accept all authors, like they don't have there's like no discrimination against anyone. So that's an idea you can do to get out there and get known. I really and for whatever reason, you know, when people see a child behind the table, they'll approach it more often because they're just amazed that, especially nowadays, because, you know, basically since the beginning of time up until basically now, you know, we were taught as children, you can't do anything until you're 18. You just got to sit back and shut up and do nothing. And so I think now this younger generation is realizing they don't have to wait. They can use every talent they have now. And so I'm very proud of you, Takiyah, for doing this and for opening the eyes of children, because I was one of those child that didn't think reading was fun, and I now realize it is. And so I'm glad that you wrote this book. Is there any encouraging words you would give to someone, whether they're a child or adult, on to get out there and publish their book?
If you want to do something or write a book or make a business, all you gotta do is believe in yourself to do it.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So if there was an author you could meet and have a conversation with, who would it be and why?
You read so many books, you can't even think, can you?
Do you have a favorite book you like to read often?
Yeah, because she reads so many, but you could tell them you met the author of what?
Nina Sophia.
Yes, of Nina Sophia, and who they have a cartoon. Their book turned into a cartoon. And remember you and your brother met him, and the illustrator.
Hella.
So she got a chance. She's playing shy, but she got a chance to meet Matthew Cherry and Vashti Harrison, the illustrator of Her Love, and you know Matthew is the author of Her Love. So they did a book signing in St. Louis, in our hometown, a couple years back before the pandemic, and her and my son got a chance to meet them, and they were excited.
That's awesome, and they didn't even realize they were standing in front of a future author.
Right.
Is there any way you can contact them and say, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but hey, I
took pictures, so I will send them pictures."
I mean, if they're on Twitter, you can easily tag them in the old picture saying, you know, you met us back in blah 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 blah. She's now an author. Great idea. I think you should do it.
Yes.
So is there anything last thing you'd like to tell the future readers of your book?
I am making a new book.
And when is it coming out?
And
tell them what it's about and when it's coming out. Well, don't give too much detail. But she has part 2 of Reread the Reader coming out this year. She's excited about it, and another interview on Saturday, a couple days ago, she was almost telling everything, the whole plot and everything, because she was so excited. I'm like, Takiyah, bring it down. But yeah, later this year, she's planning to publish the follow-up to Reread the Reader, and her brother, my son, he has a spinoff of Reread the Reader that he plans to publish as well this year.
Well, I say keep publishing them. I mean, it sounds like an amazing series of books. I mean, you can go beyond 2 books, and hopefully one day some producer will see it and turn it into a cartoon of some sort or a film. I think it is an amazing book, and I hope the best for you, and know that if I am very proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
that is all the time we have for you today on The Ready Writer. I want to thank our guest, Takiyah Prowell. So proud of her. And of course, you, the audience, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. We will see you again tomorrow. Hey, it's Casey Bell, host of Ready Writer of CSB Television, and we will be celebrating the International Black Children's Book Week, which is February 27th through March 5th, 2022. Ready Writer podcast will be interviewing authors of Black children's books during that week. We hope you join us in this event. For more information on these events and other live as well as virtual events all over the world, go to blackbabybooks.com for more information.